What up gamers, Fentyr here, and in this video I want to chill out and talk about when I first got into modding video games and my overall experience in it because I remember spending a lot of time doing it and I still do to this day, just not as much as before. I thought I would talk about this right now because we just had the Fallout TV show, which I gave my thoughts on in another video if you want to check that out. But because of that TV show, there are reports that the Fallout games have been skyrocketing in player count. As for modding, I heard that Nexus mods were experiencing heavy traffic because of the show's popularity. So, with that in mind, I thought it felt like the best time for me to talk about this topic. So, to start, I guess we can begin where I feel like most people first experience modding, and that's with Skyrim. Now, Skyrim wasn't the first game I've modded because I was console only at the time, but it was the first game I've been exposed to modding. I remember watching a lot of videos on YouTube back in the day where we see everyone's favorite train soar through the skies, and other stuff like overhauls to gameplay mechanics, textures, armor and weapons, and many more. And I've always wanted to mod because they look very game changing, like literally you do change the game. And I got my first taste of it in Fallout 4 because they've made it possible to mod on console, and I was on the Xbox One at the time, and that was actually a lot better to actually mod on because I think on the PS4 it's more limiting. Yeah, I just spent pretty much countless hours just downloading mods, testing out mods, just making numerous mod lists, and done multiple playthroughs with those mods. And you know what's funny about Fallout 4 is where before that, before I played Fallout 4, I played a lot of Skyrim and done multiple playthroughs of it. So when I first played Fallout, it was actually like my first Fallout game, Fallout 4, and I've only played through it like once, like when I first played it. Never multiple playthroughs, I was just pretty much done with it, and I just went back to Skyrim because I wasn't really feeling for Fallout. At least, it wasn't the same as Skyrim for me. But when console modding were introduced, I think I've spent more time in Fallout 4 than in Skyrim. Even when Skyrim eventually got their own console modding update later on, I still spent more time in Fallout because as I spent more time modding, the more I was exposed to the world building and the rich lore of the Fallout universe. So yeah, I just really love Fallout, man, which I prefer over when it comes to the lore and all that stuff. I prefer all of that over the Elder Scrolls, and I feel like that's when I felt like I became a Fallout fan. But at some points, I did get a PC good enough for me to play with the Fallouts and the Skyrims and all that stuff, but I've only made like one complete mod list on Fallout 4 because I was kind of burnt out on making mod lists, especially when I had to start over again with more mods to choose and play with on Nexus mods this time, not just the Bethesda.net mods. But I almost did get another PC mod list done, and it was for Skyrim. It was the near the end of last year is when I almost finished making a mod list around maybe 300 to 400 mods. Not sure about 500. It's been a while since I last looked at it. It was for Skyrim, and my plan for it was to do a modded playthrough on my channel. But then Bethesda did a random update where they merged the Creation Club mods and the user-made mods into creations. While I thought the update was kind of interesting, it did get me salty because usually mods break whenever a game gets updated, and I just stopped it working on the mod list because of that, because I just assumed that a lot of the mods that I had in my mod list are going to break. But to be fair, I did assume. I can't blame Bethesda fully. I didn't check and test to see if the mods were actually broken after the updates, but from what I've seen over the years, it's like common knowledge that mods break every time a game gets updated. Like, I assume it's the mods that require and use the script extender, whether it be for Fallout 4 or Skyrim. I don't know much of the inner workings that much, but From what I've seen, it seems like modders always wait on an update to the script extender so that it can work with the latest updates. But yeah, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But the problem with this is that not all mod authors update their mods to the latest versions of the script or the game. I'm not sure if only one of them or both are needed. Like, there's this one mod that was going to be essential for my modded playthrough, but after the update, I didn't see any signs that it was going to be updated unless I didn't look hard enough. But to this day, the latest updates for the mod I'm referring to was before the creations update, and it also requires the script extenders, so yeah, I don't think it'll be working on the newest version. Like I said, though, I didn't test it out, but I did look into the post section of the mod page, and people were saying that it was broken, and I assume it'll be the same with many other mods in my mod list. So yeah, that's why I pretty much stopped working on my mod list. Also, in recent news, there was a upcoming mod for Fallout 4, and it was delayed due to the next gen update, and you might have heard about it already. It's called Fallout London, where it replaces the main game to be set in London. Like, you don't do your usual start in Vault 111, you actually enter a whole new area and have a whole new start, and you explore a whole new world. And yeah, it actually looks like a full-on new game. It looks very impressive, and initially it was set to release on April 23rd, which I heard is St. George's Day, and I think the game would actually start on that date, like when you first play. But sometime later, they announced the next gen updates for Fallout 4, like for the release date of it, which is set for April 25th, which is 2 days after the initial release for Fallout London. So the team for the mod decided to delay it so that they can make sure it works with the new updates, since it'll probably not work 2 days after its initial release. So because of all of that, it left a bad taste in my mouth. I decided to hold off on modding Bethesda games until I know for sure mods won't break anytime soon. I've also looked into reverting Skyrim's update version so that I can use mods that work with a previous version of the game. I'm not sure if I can do the same with Fallout 4, but I know I've heard about Skyrim that they can do that, but I haven't really gone far into it though. Anyways, it also made me open to mod other games. My favorite game to mod right now is XCOM 2. There hasn't been any updates, and there is a lot of awesome mods. I've done a full modded playthrough on my channel if you want to check that out. I've also tried out mods in Mountain Blade Warband, which is also awesome. They usually have full-on overhauls, new maps, and mechanics. I've also played a mod on this channel called Star Wars Conquest, where the map, equipment, and characters are based on Star Wars, if you also want to check that out. But yeah, I've also modded other more games, but the two I mentioned were the ones I've modded the most, other than Skyrim and Fallout. So yeah, that's my experience in modding games, and now I turn it over to you guys. What was your experience in modding games? Do you like it or dislike it? Love or to hate it? Let me know down in the comments below. I do plan to give Bethesda modding another go because I do want to bring modded content to this channel, but first I need to finish up my list, my overall mod list. Like I said, I might revert to an older version of Skyrim to achieve what I want, or start anew with updated mods. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. That'll be it for now, guys. That's game.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good